Queen Victoria was once born the 24th of May 1819. Aged 18, she grew to be Queen of Great Britain, and she went on to rule for 63 years. At the time, she was once the longest-serving monarch in Europe. She dominated through a length of British imperialism, with the British Empire increasing, and she grew to become Empress of India. She got here to epitomize a generation of social conservatism and monetary expansion. She used to be the granddaughter of George III, and her father, Edward, used to be fourth in line to the throne. However, her father's three brothers all died, barring leaving any residing relatives. She used to be topped queen on the 20th of June 1837 and dominated till her demise 63 years later in 1901. Queen Victoria early life. Her early existence till the age of 18 used to be closeted and cautiously managed through her mom and her assistant John Conroy. Her mother, Princess Victoria of Saxe-Coburg-Saalfeld, saved Victoria very shut and allowed her little real-life experience. She used to be added up with a strict set of guidelines recognized as the Kensington system. Victoria described her childhood as rather melancholy. In 1830 her grandfather George III died. He used to be succeeded with the aid of King William IV. However, in 1837, he additionally handed away, which means the crown surpassed onto Victoria, who was once aged solely 18, and quite unprepared for the role. One of her first selections was once to reduce free from her mom and attain greater independence from the controlling surroundings she had been added up in. She additionally took her new responsibilities very seriously. On her ascendancy to the throne, she said, "Since it has thrilled Providence to region me in this station, I shall do my utmost to fulfill my obligation in the direction of my country. I am very younger and possibly in many, although no longer in all things, inexperienced. However, I am certain that very few have extra actual exact will and greater actual want to do what is match and proper than I have." Queen Victoria. Extract from the Queen's Journal, Tuesday, 20th June 1837. Marriage. After her coronation, Queen Victoria met many practicable suitors from royal homes throughout Europe. She fell in love with Prince Albert of Saxe-Coburg and Gotha in Germany. They have been married in 1840. Victoria and Prince Albert had a very close, intimate relationship, and she described the depth of emotions closer to her cherished husband. She wrote in her diary quickly after their marriage, "My dearest, dear Albert. His immoderate love and affection gave me emotions of heavenly love and happiness I in no way should have hoped to have felt before." Queen Victoria. In the equal 12 months as her marriage, Queen Victoria gave delivery to her first baby, a daughter named Victoria. They had 9 youngsters in total. She discovered being pregnant and childbirth challenging, and as soon as exclaimed, "An unpleasant toddler is a very nasty object, and the prettiest is frightful." Queen Victoria and 19th century Britain. The 19th century used to be a time of exceptional growth for Britain in time period of each enterprise and empire. Although her recognition ebbed and flowed in the course of her reign, toward the cease of her crown, she had emerged as an image of British imperialism and pride. The Victorian length additionally witnessed notable advances in science and technology. It grew to become recognized as the steam age, enabling humans to without problems tour during the UK and the world. Queen Victoria used to be emblematic of this period. She was once an enthusiastic supporter of the British Empire. She celebrated at Lord Kitchener's victory in the Sudan. She supported British involvement in the Boer War. She used to be additionally completely satisfied to preside over the growth of the British Empire, which used to be stretched throughout the globe. In 1877, Queen Victoria used to be made Empress of India, in a cross instigated by means of the imperialist Israeli. Famously, at the quid of the Victorian period, human beings may want to say, the solar in no way set on the British Empire. Queen Victoria was once conservative in her politics and social views. She adversarial women's rights and was once socially conservative. This led to an unlucky episode. When she noticed a servant who seemed to be pregnant, Victoria claimed she was once having an affair. The Queen certainly made her take a check to show she used to be a virgin. The check used to be high quality and the boom in her belly used to be genuinely a shape of cancer. A few months later, the servant died, and Queen Victoria suffered a decline in her reputation as an end result of this episode. In the early section of her reign, she grew to become a shut pal and confidant of the Prime Minister, Lord Melbourne. She spent many hours speaking to him and relied on his political advice. Lord Melbourne used to be a Whig, with conservative attitudes. He tried to protect Queen Victoria from the intense poverty that used to be endemic in components of the UK. Queen Victoria was once additionally relatively committed to her husband, Prince Albert. Collectively they had 9 children. When Prince Albert died in 1861, at the age of 41, Queen Victoria went into deep mourning and struggled to overcome this loss. She grew to become reclusive and used to be reluctant to show up in public. Parliament and Benjamin Disraeli had to use all their persuasive energy to get her to open Parliament in 1866 and 1867. Her hiding from the public led to a decline in popularity. However, by way of the quid of her reign, her reputation was once restored. This was once partly due to the upward push of Great Britain as the main superpower of the era. For a range of reasons, numerous tries have been made on the lifestyles of Queen Victoria. These had been more often than not between 1840 and 1882. She was once constantly unharmed, however her courageous mindset helped to endear her to the public. Personality of Queen Victoria. Queen Victoria used to be profitable in portraying a public photo of an aloof queen who embodied the virtues of the British Empire. In person, away from the public glare, she used to be acknowledged to be an aggregate of honesty. Plain speaking, however, additionally inclined to emotional outbursts and pretty obstinate. Great occasions make me quiet and calm, it is solely trifles that irritate my nerves. Queen Victoria. Despite her social conservatism, she was once passionate about her husband and radically loved spending time in shut proximity. However, even their relationship may want to be punctuated with loud, emotional arguments. Despite perceptions of her being dry and serious, contributors of the family mentioned she should have a first-rate experience of humor and giggle uproariously. The loss of life of her husband in 1861 used to be a large blow, and she was once deeply affected with grief. She wore black and mourned for numerous years. Her grief was once so intense, it affected the nation. She struggled to overcome the grief, and Albert's early demise led to in addition worsening of relationships with her first son Edward VII, whom Victoria blamed for his playboy lifestyle, inflicting stress for his father Albert.